Good morning, students. Today's session is mining frequent patterns, association, and correlations, and we'll see what are the basic concepts and methods in this chapters. Already we have seen the introduction part of association, correlations, so and so. Now we will see in deep what are all those things. Okay. Now basic concepts. First we'll see. If you take a association rule, in that if you go for a frequent patterns, we can tell it is a patterns that appear frequently in a data set. For example, milk and butter may be taken together by the customer that appears together in a transaction data set. So similarly, the people whoever is buying the PC may also interested for buying a printer, a memory card, a digital camera, etc. So this will be frequently appearing in the shopping history database. So this is, we call it as a frequent patterns. Okay. The next one is what is a frequent pattern analysis? Why we are interested? So frequent pattern is a pattern. It's nothing but a set of items or subsequence or substructures, etc. that occurs frequently in a data set. So it was first proposed by the Agarwal. He is an author for finding the frequent item set and the association rule mining. Mainly the motivation of this frequent pattern is finding the inherent regularities in the data. What products are often purchased together? Beer and diapers he has taken as an example. We can go for a milk and sugar, or a milk and coffee, or a bread and butter, like that. Any combinations we can take. Or what are the subsequent purchases for buying a PC? Suppose if PC has been bought from one of the customer, what he can go for the other alternations, like memory card, SD card, RLC, or printer, so and so, etc. Okay, for example, in a medical science, they can go for what kinds of DNA are sensitive to this new drug. So for before taking a new drug, we'll be analyzing the cells or structures or DNAs, whomever will be sensitive. So that's very helpful for in a scientific area, and can be automatically classify the web document. Suppose if you are interested in searching any one of your document, it will be giving the other alternatives or other possibilities which may be related to that. These are all the examples for the finding the frequent items. In all the areas it can be used. The main application of this is basket data analysis. And it is mainly used in a cross marketing, catalog design, and sales campaign analysis, web log analysis, and DNA sequence analysis, and etc. These are the applications where the frequent patterns play the major role. Okay. Now, why is frequent pattern is important? So we have seen what is frequent pattern and where it is applied. Now we'll see why is frequent pattern is important. This frequent pattern is an intrinsic and important property of a data sets, because all the business are related on this data. That's what we have seen, how the data is very important in the society. So the whichever we feel it is not important, it will be a golden opportunity for others. So that data has to be predicted and it has to be used for the analysis. Okay, now foundation of many essential data mining tasks. What are the different tasks or methodologies used for finding the interrelations between the items? And before moving it, we'll see some of your basic concepts like what do you mean by item set? Item set is nothing but a collection of one or more items. It can be example milk, butter, diaper, etc. If you say k item set, the number of item set that contain a k items. That's what often in the algorithm you will be coming across a k item and item sets, and also I will repeat once again what are all those things. A item set is nothing but a collection of one or more items. A k item set is an item set that contains the k items. Okay, and one more definitions we are interested is support count, which is represented by sigma. It is nothing but frequency of occurrence of an item set. It is the frequency of occurrence of item set. This item set, in how much percentage or how frequently it has been occurred, that count is called the support count. If you tell it is a support, we can tell fractions of transactions that contain an item set. For example, there are 5 transactions has been happened. In that 5 transactions, milk and butter, they are bought together. In that one, 2 people have in 5 total in 5 transaction, 2 transactions has been taken the milk and butter together. The support will be calculated as 2 by 5. I'll repeat once again. There are 5 transaction has been happened. In that 5 transactions, 2 transaction has taken the same combination of the items. For example, milk and butter. Then the support will be calculated as 2 by 5. So this is the way how it has been calculated. So they'll make a tabular column. In that one, they'll write the transaction IDs, how many transactions have been happened, and what are the items has been purchased. So if you analyze that one, so total 5 transaction, 2 transaction has a similarity, then we can tell support count is 2 by 5. And one more concept is frequent item sets. An item sets whose support is greater than or equal to a minimum support threshold. So whenever we are calculating a frequent item set, it has to be targeted for a threshold value. So just like that, we cannot take it in the account. So that threshold value has to be given by the domain knowledge people or experts. So based on that threshold, we can find out the maximum or minimum support count. And the next one is your association rule. Here, an amplification expressions is the form of x tends to y. That means where x and y are the item set. So that x tends to y means wherever x is existing, the y also will be existing. That's what x is implies to y. So if the people is buying a milk, they will be buying the biscuits also. Like that, it has been interlinked. Okay. The next one is a confidence. What do you mean by confidence? Means is a measure how often items in Y appears in the transaction that contains X. So that means how confidently it has been gone together. So measures how often in Y appears the transaction that contains X. And support S is the fraction of transaction that contains both X and Y. So these are all the basic terms what we have to go through in advance. Okay, now these are the foundation of many essential data mining tasks. If you see association, correlation, and causality analysis, and sequential structural patterns and pattern analysis in a spatio-temporal, multimedia, time series, and stream data. In classification, you can go for discriminative frequent pattern analysis. In cluster analysis, we can find the frequent pattern based clustering. In data warehousing, you can see iceberg cube and cube gradient, and semantic data compressions, we call it as vessels and broad applications. So these are all the things where we are going for the frequent patterns importance we can find out here. So if you take the example as a basic concept, you see here, there are 5 transactions, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You see the item, see in transaction, these are all the items bought. See in the transaction 1, that is 10, that they have given the number for each and every transaction. The transaction 10, the items bought is beer, nuts and diaper. If you see in the transaction 20, they bought beer, coffee, diaper. In 30, you see beer, diaper and eggs. In transaction 40, you can see nuts, eggs, milk. In transaction 50, you see nuts, coffee, diaper, egg and milk. Okay. Now you see, I have already told you the item set is a set of one or more items. This is the item set. K item is x is equal to x1 comma x2, where in K, what are the transaction has been happened. That is a K item set. Absolute support or a support count of x, that is a frequency or occurrence of the item set x. The relative support S is the fraction of transaction that contains X. That is the probability that a transaction contains X. An item set X is a frequent if X support is no less than the minimum support threshold. Already we have seen this minimum support threshold will be already given by the experts. If you see customer buys both and customer buys diaper and customer buys beer. So if you take everything together, already this is a Venn diagram which is going to represent the people who buys, this is a customer buys diaper and this is the customer buys beer. So the beer will be, see, 1, 2, 3. So 3 will be taken in this area. This diaper 1, 2, 3 will be taken in this area. So both have purchased, you see, beer and diaper one time, beer and diaper 2, and beer and diaper 3. So this is the combinations where both of them are taking together. So like that, you have to arrange the diagrams in the proper way to find out the frequent item set. Okay. Now you see association rule. This is find all the rules extends to Y with the minimum support and the confidence. See, support S is a probability that a transaction contains both X and U. That is, whoever is buying the beer and diaper, together if we take, that is the support, X union Y. And confident S is a conditional probability that a transaction having X also contains Y. So this is the place where you are going to use our probability values. Already we have seen the data mining is a inherent structure of the other different applications. One of the main thing is statistics. We have seen mainly the statistics is used for collecting your data collection of data, analysis of data, representation of a data, or visualization of the data. So this is mainly useful for in the statistics. Okay, now if you see the minimum support count has been given 50% and minimum confidence level has been given as 50%. Frequent patterns, suppose if you see how the beer is appear in a transaction 1, 2, 3. So the beer has been appeared in 3. Nuts, you see, it is appeared for 3 times here in transaction 1 and in transaction 40 and in transaction 50. So it is a 3. If you see in the diaper, it is transaction 10, in transaction 20, in transaction 30 and in transaction 50. So 4 diaper has been happened. Transaction has been happened. If you take the eggs, you see egg has been taken in transaction 30 and transaction 40 and transaction 50. So 3 times it is appearing. That is a 3 here. So if we want to go the combination of this beer and diaper together, its count is 3. Okay. So if you are getting confused also, you can find out how many items are there. You can count. So beer is 1, 2, 3. So we are taken as 3. Nuts is 1, 2, 3. We have taken it 3. Diaper is 1, 2, 3, 4. We have taken it 4. And eggs is, you see, 1, 2, 3. It is taken as 3. So this combination, beer and diaper, if you see, this combination is 1 time, this combination is 2 times, and this combination is 3 times. So it is taken as a 3. So this association rule, what it has been taken is how many transactions it has been happened. If you see 5 transactions. So in this 5 transaction, this combination has come for 3 by 5. Similarly, diaper, beer and diaper has come along together 60% with their minimum support and 100% their confidence level. So both are come in 3 transactions. So here you have to verify it. This is the minimum support and minimum confidence level they are giving it, but we are achieving more than that. So we are getting 60%, 100%. So this transaction can be accepted. Similarly, if you see in the diaper tends to beer, you have getting a 60% and 75%. So this also will be accepted. So first we have to find out what is the minimum support count and what is the minimum confidence level. So based on that, we have to find out how many transactions uh, the particular combination has been happened. So like that we have to find out. So in that way you can calculate the value of both the things. Okay. Next one is computational complexity of frequent items mining. What is the complexity in this computing now? How many item sets are potentially to be gathered in the first case? So we know so many n number of item sets will be there. So if the combining this combination is a big task, because if the combination is in a proper way only, the people will be attracted and they'll be buying the product. That's what we have seen in whenever you are buying any product in the Amazon. Once you click the confirmations, then immediately one pop-up message will be coming in your mobile. If you watched, will be coming to know the people who have bought the item so and so, they are also interested in buying similar items. They will show you. So that's what it's in. Their intention is they want you to buy the other combinations of items also, which is going together with the item sets what you bought. So this is also one of the example. So like this, the number of frequent items to be generated is sensitive to the minimum support threshold. So the people will find how many transactions has happened so far. So how many people are interested in that combination. So with that transaction, they'll take a minimum support threshold and they'll be marketing. So when minimum support is low, there exists potentially an exponential number of frequent items set. So the worst case, m to the power of n, where m is the distinct number of items set and n is the maximum length of the transactions. In how many transactions and what were the frequent set was combined together. This is the way we have to calculate. This is the very worst case of a transactions calculations. It has to be taken a tedious step in that. The worst case complexity versus the expected probability. So if you take, suppose the Walmart has 10 to the power of 4 item kinds of products, the chance to pick one product is 10 to the power of 4. So the chance to pick up a particular set of 10 product is approximately 10 to the power of 40. So what is the chance if particular set of 10 products to be frequent? 10 to the power of 3 items in 10 to the power of 9 transactions. So this transaction is a tedious work of combinations because it depends upon the person's mentality. It has to be calculated often to make a good profit. So this is the complexity in the computational part of the frequent item set. The next method is a frequent item set mining methods. Okay, now once again we will collect what are the basic concepts we have studied across here. First we have seen is what is item set and what is k items, what is the frequent item set, what is an association rule. We have seen how the items are being combined together and what are the applications are available we have seen, and what is a support count we have seen, what is a confidential level we have seen, what are the foundations of an essential data mining tasks. In the task we have come across the association, sequential structures, pattern analysis, classification, cluster analysis, data warehousing, semantic data compression, and example of some frequent patterns we have seen. In that, what is an item set? It's a set of one or more items. K items contains the in k number of items in the given set, and we have seen how the probability value is used here. One is a conditional probability and the absolute support count and the item set of the combinations with the Venn diagram, and we have seen the association rule, what is the importance of a support and confidence, and what is the formula, conditional probability and the probability value. And we have seen what are the complexity in mining the data mining item sets and what is the exponential values we have seen. The next one is a frequent item set mining that we will see in the next class.